Was good, was good, was good. Um, was good, everybody. Just another Friday. What do you call it? Got some good news. So it snowed in on Monday, and I'm over here all fucking weekend putting a couple of bets in, and fucking none of them are hitting. No basketball, no football, nothing. I knew that we were gonna be off. I'm kind of lying because okay, they announced this big ass storm, this winter storm over here in PA, and it was like 10 o'clock on Saturday, and I was like, yo, this shit ain't falling, dog. Fuck this shit. Ain't nothing gonna come down. Fuck it. I was all excited. I'm all tripping because I'd rather go to work in this case. One right now, obviously, because I need the money, but then two, it's just like, yeah, I'm in the hotel room all day, but fuck, I'd rather make this money. So I'm over here just basically thinking like, all right, fuck, this shit ain't hitting, this shit ain't hitting, nothing fucking ends up hitting. Get a call on Monday. No, I'm sorry, a text. I wake up to a text from my lead, and that was just basically like they're gonna hit us back up at around 9. We might go in at 10:30. I was like, all right, chilled out, worked out, kicked it in the room for a little while, and then I already knew we weren't gonna go in. So at that point, I was just like, yeah, like what? Like really? Call everybody, tell everybody to come in. Like damn. But that was pretty cool, and that kind of has to go with today's topic as well. What does your company offer you? So, if you haven't seen my other videos or my other audio recordings, I'm sorry. I work for a 3PL, a company that goes around helping different companies, grocery companies, heavy machinery companies, factories, facilities, just a bunch of different stuff that have to do with logistics. And so that's basically what I want to say today. What does your company offer you? I'm just losing my train of thought. I'm just trying to get better at this speaking thing. I totally forgot where I was going with that. But like I said, I work for a 3PL. Been doing this for a cool minute now. And normally we're in these companies, we're supporting and we partner up with these companies because they're backed up on work. They don't have enough company associates. They might have a high volume in cases or just in different, areas like receiving a lot to unload, containers, just a variety of reasons. So I get to go around and meet different people that work in all these companies. And one day, which is today, I go to work and I'm doing my normal function, whatever. And the homie comes up to me. My bad, I keep coughing. You probably know why. Um, and this was just basically like, hey, what's up? Like, I know that we were off on Monday, and we're gonna have to come in tomorrow. So like, what do you think about that as far as like for you guys? Like, do you guys prefer to work? Is basically what he was asking. And I was like, yeah, dog. Honestly, like, yeah, like the company I work for, since we didn't go into work that day, it doesn't. They don't pay us, you know. And so in order to make up the hours from Monday, that we missed. Sunday's the start of the week. We were gonna go on Saturday because their volume had got up high as well, and so we were gonna go make those hours because right now we're working Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday out. And so basically, he just asked me that, and I go, well, yeah, bro. Like, I prefer to come in, like, make up those hours, you know. And he's like, what do you mean, like, you don't get paid those hours? And I'm like, nah, like, we don't get paid those hours. My company doesn't provide that. And then he's just like, oh, damn, that's fucked up. And then just the look on his face, I was like, do you guys get paid for that? And he was just like, yeah. So I was just kind of like, damn, that's pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of these companies that offer some good stuff. And I mean, I'm only saying that because there is a lot of other companies. He said the company he used to work before he got there to where he's at now, which it's an automotive warehouse. He said that the company he was at before wasn't offering that you had to put in a sick day or something like that. So I was like, damn, that's pretty clean, dog. Like, what the fuck? So that's where the question comes in. What does your company offer you? I'd like to know, like, what are some things that your company offers you, and are you taking advantage of them? Because there's been a lot of things that companies offer their associates, and I'll get to mine later. But there's companies, that offer traveling programs. So basically, like, let's say you're working at the company you're at. I like to always do warehousing because that's the industry, that's the field that I'm in. So I always go to these different warehouses, and sometimes when a warehouse, you know, let's say you're in Los Angeles, and the company has a warehouse in Indiana. They'll fly you out from Los Angeles over to Indiana to go help them out if they're needing extra help, if they need extra people. And I've seen this at a couple of grocery warehouses, that do a dry freezer and cooler. They'll go ahead and have you rent a car or fly you out, and then once you get there, you get a rental car or rental vehicle. They put you in a hotel, so you basically get the whole traveling experience. So that's pretty cool. A couple of times I've seen a couple guys do it that were like in Portland, Oregon, and they got sent to like a warehouse in Indiana, or some other people that were in Illinois, and they got sent to Minnesota. So just different places like that, or different traveling programs like that. And one of the companies, I just feel like that's stuff that the company should take care about. Take care of. I mean, as far as the sense, like, if you guys are gonna offer the whole traveling aspect, don't reimburse everything. I suggest just find somebody that's able to book them flights, book them. That way they can go nice and relax. Like, you don't want to go over there thinking that, like, fuck, I got like a $3,000 balance, and sometimes they'd be bullshitting. Because it just depends, And I'm not trying to shit on anybody. That's why I'm not saying no company names or nothing. I'm just saying in the sense, like, that's something that I like about my company. They pretty much just book everything for you. Yeah, sometimes they'll fuck up too. Like, somebody will forget to book you a room or something like that. But it's something that can be taken care of by, putting in a ticket or something, or just really contacting anybody or the manager in charge of wherever you're going. But, you would want to think that And I'm sorry if the alarm goes off or the timer goes off. I got the stew cooking right now. I'm about to do the lentils for the lentejas for the meal prep for the week. So I'm sorry if the timer goes off on the tablet. And so you hear a lot of fools that are like, oh, well, I have to buy the flight, then I have to book the hotel, and then I just give them a receipt and they reimburse it back. But some fools say that shit takes a while for them to reimburse back, and then they say I have to use their credit card. Just like, why put your associate through that? Why not just do a separate billing or try to do something in a different aspect of, not aspect, I don't even know if that's the right word, just try to do something different. Like, all right, don't worry, we'll take care of your travel arrangements, and here's your itinerary type of deal. You know, that's just something I would say that way to, give the associate a nice experience. you know, these companies make a lot of money. I'm sure they'll be all right. Um, but in that sense, I travel myself, so it's always nice to be going out, learning different warehouses, learning different systems, learning the way that other people do their processes at different warehouses. Even though they work for the same company, warehouse A might do it way different from warehouse B. So it's always nice to go and grab some pointers and tips, anything along that line, like just stuff that's gonna expand or how you can actually put ideas together. You know what I mean? Um, So that's always nice, and that's why I've always liked traveling as well. I've gotten the opportunity just to basically work a bunch of different functions with a bunch of different machinery, with a bunch of different people, different attitudes, different mindsets, different philosophies. Like the way they look at things, and it's always good when you run into somebody that's interested into what you are. Um, I met a lot of homies, a lot of homegirls that as well that, they're into the logistics. Maybe not as much as I am sometimes, but they see where I'm coming from, you know. Apart from that, me being able to work so closely to a manager, um, I was a lead and the manager that I was first assigned to on the road, and basically took me under his wing. He just had me up and down with him all through Ohio. We were going from Groveport, Ohio, all the way up to Cincinnati, Ohio, to go look at a grocery warehouse, then to go back to our, where we're stationed at in Groveport, and it's a really nice feeling that someone just takes you like that, and it's just like, hey, you want to come with me, like get some experience, like we'll go talk to a group of guys that are over here through our company. We'll go see what's going on up there, go get a feel for them, and it's just like, okay, like, yeah, let's go. And you take I think it was like 2-3 hour drive up to Cincinnati. You pass Kings Island, and then you could pass through a Jack in the Box. That's something you don't really see. I think the Jack in the Box was on the way up there. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember I passed the Jack in the Box coming back, but that was a different story. Um, but yeah, like those are the type of little things in traveling that you get to see, because just like everybody else that's around you, they're all traveling as well. So we're basically a group of people that are, you know, living out of a hotel and then just going and working at a warehouse or working at a facility. Traveling, just helping these companies out. So I can see the whole traveling aspect and I understand the whole traveling aspect, but that's something I would say just improve on. Just being a little bit more accommodative. If you're not already doing that, if you are, then it's all good. But these are all cool people that that you want to see them, because they do kind of seem bummed out in the sense like, oh damn, like they kind of lagged it for them to put the money or reimburse the money. You know what I mean? So that's just really all I mean. But as far as you know companies also giving the opportunity to travel is also cool. As at the end of the day, they do always end up getting reimbursed. So it really doesn't matter what I'm saying, but at the same time, it's just like I do it more of the mindset that you want that person to go and just be clear headed and go out there and work and see if this is for them, see if they want to stay at the company that they're currently with. You know what I mean? Because I don't think those people just offer to go on the road or travel just to do it. Like I did it for a purpose. I wanted to see if this is what I wanted to do when I first got onto the company that I'm at, because I knew they offered this specific program on being able to go and travel, you know, to different states. So that's something that I really wanted to do. Um, Another cool thing is that some companies offer education. Um, the same homeboy that I was talking to, he said that the company he's at, they paid for his school and they're basically paying for everything. He's in his last semester, and I just told him that shit's fucking dope. Like, you know, it's gonna help him out with his education, with his family, and then on top of that, like, the company knows they have somebody homegrown, I guess you can say, or developed through the company. So that's always definitely good to know, and that's good to have behind your pocket as a company. Somebody that you see wants to strive and wants to do a little better, and it's just like, hey, this person was studying for the past 2 or 3 years and they were going to school. We paid for his program, and you don't really say it like that, like, oh, we paid for his program. No, because he's taking advantage of what the company is offering. So you're gonna see how I talk a lot and just bullshit a lot sometimes. But that, to me, that's also good. Just being able to take care of your education. Like the companies that I've worked for, I don't think they've ever offered anything like that. But why not, man? Like, is anybody taking care of these type of I turn off the alarm right now for the stool so I won't go off while I'm recording, but I'll probably stop recording for a second. But I mean, does anybody take advantage of these? Like, how does it work? Like, do they give you a certain amount? Do they pay for the whole thing? Because honestly, that's just pretty dope. I ain't even gonna lie. Um, if I'm saying it, would I take advantage of it now? Well, I would try to, but I'd rather try to do this right now at the moment. Try to get this channel off the ground. Because I've already been 11 years on warehousing. 5 of them at a home warehouse. The other 6 right now that I'm currently still doing right here on the road. All right, I just added the lentils to the beef, so I'm gonna have you fools like chefs when we finish. Um, but yeah, just the whole pay for education, like, it must be cool. Would I do it now? Like I said, nah. I really enjoy the fact that I got to travel for the last 6 years. I I probably wouldn't change that for the world. Like, just being able to, like, talk to so many people, meet so many people, understand so many people. I worked as a lead, basically a supervisor and manager. I just didn't have the title, but I was taking care of all these foods and fooditas. I was taking care of everybody as much as I could. I was answering phone calls at 3 in the morning, answering phone calls at midnight, all that shit. You know, Getting rooms for them, booking flights, everything. You know, Sitting in on meetings with company managers, with general managers, all of it. So, you know, been there, been there. And in the most humble way too, like I said, you need good people around you. That's one thing I will tell you. Like I said, that manager hooked it up. Like, he gave me the opportunity to really be myself and dip my toes into this business, not facility, this business, this type of world that, you know, you're dealing with a lot of people, especially working with the 3PL. You get a lot of homeboys, you know, that are up to no good, a lot of homegirls that ain't up to no good. It just is what it fucking is. And what I mean by that is like, they hire a lot of felons, they hire a lot of people that were just coming in and out of jail, people with like myself with not the best education. It just is what it is. Like, I'm just working at a fucking warehouse for Christ's sake, you know. But you you surround yourself with a lot of people like that, so you have to know how to talk to people like that. There's a lot of good people as well, and I'm not saying those felons are bad people, because I'll be honest, I've never had a problem with anybody. And you know what? Like, everybody's been cool with me. Everybody has a past. It is what it fucking is, dog. You know? Don't ask, don't tell. I don't try to get too much into shit like that. And I'm not trying to, single people out as far as saying like felons or anything like that. There's a lot of crazy fucking people out there. But I think that's kind of the main thing, when companies like 3PLs, they hire, you know, just about anybody. And it just is what it fucking is. I've met people that are basically homeless and they need to live, they need to be on the road to have a home, and it just is what it is. And some of those people have a fucking attitude because they're going to do anything they can to be around and stay on the road, you know. So, like I said, there's a lot of good people, and thankfully, everybody that I've come across, for the most part, I never had a fucking issue with. So, everything's all good. But that's what I mean. Like, you know, I learned to deal with a lot of different people. And, I wouldn't have it any other way because it's dope. Like, I'm from LA, man. You gotta know how to talk to people. You know what I mean? You grow up, you go to different high schools. I went to different high schools for, what do you call it? For summer school and all that shit, for middle school. And, man, you just gotta know how to talk. So, I kept talking to that homie. And, after he told me that he had he's still getting his education. He had told me about that. He said he had a semester left, but he told me that about that like a while back ago. He also brought up COVID, and he said that during COVID, the company that he's at was offering $50 an hour just to come in and work during COVID. I guess they had done some type of deal with, the company had done some type of deal with somebody or whatever. I don't really fucking know. Even though I should know because this is easy reports, but like I'm since I don't know 1,000%, I'm not gonna 100% say it. But basically, that company got the okay to go and work, and they were paying the associates $50 a fucking hour. For 40 hours, that's $2,000 right off the bat. After taxes, probably less, but for sure less. But they said they were fucking running up the overtime like there's no tomorrow. Can you believe that shit? And right now, doing what I'm doing, I would easily do 80 hours a week paying me that shit. It's the easiest shit. But that's another thing, is your company offering any, like, what kind of incentives do they offer? Because there's a lot of companies that offer really great incentives. I've been to a lot of grocery warehouses that these dudes are picking in the freezer, and they're pretty much like, yo, I'm running this bitch to the ground. Like, shit. Getting $40, $50 an hour. Like, god damn. But at the end of the day, it is hard work. I'm not gonna lie, picking those fucking boxes in the fucking freezer. I've done it before. Would I do it again? Yes. Do I have to do it again? Fuck, I hope not. Will I do it again if I get called to? Yeah. Yeah, I have to. But That's why we're trying to, say ZZ reports and show everybody how it's done. So, that's pretty cool because, I mean, shit. Like he said, he's like, man, he said that he couldn't do it, unfortunately, for some reasons, but um, he basically said that he thinks about it all the time, and I don't blame him because, fuck, that's some, I don't want to say life changing money, but that's some good money you're gonna save. You can easily save that shit and just fucking, you know, put it into a portfolio or something. See it, see it invest, see it double, quadruple, just go 100 times, you know. Um, and I also got the good end of the stick as well with COVID. For the 3PL companies, fuck, that was good times, very good times. Unfortunately, a lot of people were sick, but like I say this more in the sense like the third party logistics, all the logistics, it was booming. Like everybody was getting their own vehicles, everybody was getting their own rooms because normally in these type of companies we share rooms sometimes. Thankfully right now I'm by myself, but a lot of fools are sharing. A lot of people have to share rooms. And during COVID, well, since everybody was getting sick, um, they were having their own rooms. So everybody was going, working 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 hours. Like, believe me, I heard a couple of people that worked 100. I worked a good amount too. But, I mean, it's not as common as maybe like 60, 70, maybe even 80, but you did hear some people doing that shit. And, it's just basically like, god damn, it was a good time. A lot of work. Um, we were going to sites and we were staying there for, you know, almost a year in some. Because you got to think about it. Like where I go, sometimes we're lucky to last 2 or 3 months. Then some of us go home, and thankfully I haven't had the luck of going home and sitting down for a while. And right now, well, now I can't because I can't afford it. But at the same time, like that's why sometimes you just gotta let your work speak for itself. I've been I've been working my ass off to try to not be home because that's the first thing they're gonna do. They're not gonna let the lazy people go in, represent the company in sites like that and things like that. And I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody. I'm not. I'm just saying more in the sense that when it comes to work, like I gotta keep working. So you gotta go out there and do your best. But during COVID time, it was a trip. It was something else. In the 3PL business, everybody was making money. Traveling, making money, getting per diem, having their own rooms. It was a good time. Um, I've heard of companies that offer like visas. You know, they bring in people from other countries. Does anybody know about that? I saw a report on it. Unfortunately, that they had to send some people back not too long ago from this company that I was looking at. But like being able to offer things like that, being able to bring people from other countries over here and letting them work. How about the community as far as working at different warehouses? I think the place that I saw, it was a meat packing factory. Um, and that company, same thing. It also gave education to the company's kids. So you know, it, I would like to learn about companies that are doing that because the goal for me would be one day, hopefully, and I know there's a lot to say, but it would be to open my own third party logistics company. That would be that would be the main objective right there. I mean, I got a lot of goals though, you know. I got a lot. Just like everybody else should, you know. I also want to do shipping and receiving, you know, a book, a storyline, a TV series about, you know, this business, this type of world, the underground world of logistics. Got that stew going. My bad. I had to double check on it, but I have a bunch of videos up. I have a good amount of videos up on this page. If anybody wants to go check that out, shipping and receiving the underground world of logistics. Um, but basically, that's what it's gonna be about. You know, a 3PL company startup and what they do to, you know, to come into this business and thrive. But that would be the main goal. But as of right now, we're gonna keep it nice and steady. We're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep hustling. The first company that I started working for, way back, they were like, the company workers used to tell me, they're like, hey man, all the produce, all the extra produce they used to have, like the chips, the cookies, like a bunch of like general items, if they overstocked it or they had a bunch of it in the warehouse, they would let people take it, you know? So that was always really fucking cool. I always thought that was pretty fucking dope, you know, helping these people out and giving them stuff. Yeah, like helping these fools out, you know, with like extra extra stuff for the family, you know, taking the produce and stuff like that. Another dope thing that they used to do from what the company from the what the company workers. I mean, I became part of that company as well, so but I got hired way after this. Um, they said that the original owners used to help out with down payments for cars. Like if you didn't have a car and you know you want to go ask for help to the company and to the owner, um, they basically hook you up with a down payment. You know, for a nice car. That way you can get to work and just shit like that. You know, so that's pretty fucking cool right there. I'm not gonna lie. And there was one dude that told me on Reddit that his company offered a shuttle program. You know, they offered a shuttle program that used to take him basically to work. So I thought that was pretty fucking cool because the one thing I do not like doing in this world is driving. Like I'm not the biggest driver. Like if I don't have to do it, if somebody else is down to drive, handle. You know, but nah, like I'm just not down with it. So you know that's kind of where the question stems from. You know, like what does your company offer you? My company, I got a lot of respect for them, man. I got a lot of love for them. They've helped me out in a lot of different ways. Never left me without work. Hired me on the spot. Um, when I reached out to somebody, letting them know that I wanted to get into a traveling program, they tried their best to do as much as they can to keep me at the current warehouse that I was at in LA. So everybody just remember that if you're a good enough worker and you speak up, doors start opening up. Maybe not all the time, but I've been grateful enough, and I thank God that when I went and told them that, like, hey, I want to go on the road, I want to take advantage of this program, they were like, hey, we can make you a lead, like, stay here. Like, wait, what? Like, you weren't saying this before, you know? So sometimes it is good to go ahead and take a step out the box and try to see where you're, you know, where you can thrive at more, where, where you excel or things like that, you know? Because it's always funny. It's always funny when you try to leave or when you speak up. All of a sudden, more money's offered. All of a sudden, another opportunity opens up. All of a sudden, more hours or whatever you need. You know, but when you weren't saying shit, everything was all good. So that's just something that that you know that's just the observation. You know, I always notice that. But got a lot of respect for my company. Like I said in this ZZ reports in this whole channel, I don't want to be burning any companies. I just want to talk about the world of logistics. If a time and day comes that, you know, these companies want to know who they are that I was working with, then, you know, we could sit down and talk about the goods and the bads and what I observed and what I didn't observe. But I ain't here to talk shit about nobody because none of these warehouses are perfect. I don't give a fuck what company you work for. I don't give a fuck this or that. There's always flaws. Or there's always a couple of fucking assholes. There's always people that think that are better. But, like, can you believe it? The only reason I'm saying that is because, alright, funny story time. It's not even that funny, but where I'm at right now, there's another 3PL there. There's another, like, company that works there. And so there's a total of 3 companies. My company, another 3PL, and the main company. And every time machines fuck up, they come and grab our machines, our assigned machines, which is cool. I don't care. They're not mine, so I really don't give a fuck. I'll use whatever they give me. If that shit goes slow as fuck, I've reported it to a manager. He knows that shit goes slow as fuck, so I don't really give a fuck. But so one of the dudes from the other company was having a meeting with one of the, I don't know if he's like a manager or a lead with the company, the main company, and he started saying that somebody took his machine and somebody's always taking it, and you know, and whatnot. And then so they continued talking, and then they brought up that machines are always getting messed up around the warehouse. And then the company manager lead, he was basically like, you know why that happened, right? And then that fool was just like, nah. He's like, well, because your company and their company, the other company, us, are always messing up machines. And I'm like, what the fuck is this fool talking about? What a fucking idiot. Like, how is it us that are messing up the machines? But you're always coming and taking our machines, and I've never reported a bad machine. We've never reported a bad machine. Like, what the fuck is this fool talking about? So, some of these company dudes gotta get their head up their fucking ass. You know, stop thinking you're this shit. You know. And it's just the truth because, I mean, me at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be there in the next 3 months. But this was gonna go and keep fucking acting like an asshole with the next fucking people. And which is cool. I don't know. But your company workers are the ones that are always coming and reporting the bad fucking machine. So how is it us? Like, come on, dude. Get your head out your fucking ass. You know? Like, I don't know. Some of these dudes think they're on a high pedestal or they're on a high horse, but some of these dudes are just fucking dumb as shit. And I'm only saying that for the fools that think that they're fucking smart. I'm not, I know I'm not smart. And I know I'm not the smartest, but at the same time, like, those dudes gotta chill the fuck out. Even chicks too, you know? Some girls too. You know, they can get it both ways as far as the guys and the girls can get it. Because there's just some people that think they're like over the top smart. And it's just like, well, can you go pick an order? Well, no, I can't do that. Then shut the fuck up. You know? Then shut the fuck up. And it's just like, I'm not trying to protect the warehouse workers. At a sense, I am. But like, you know, if you really a team player, like, get your fucking headset on or get on a fucking machine and start fucking picking like the rest of us. Those are the people that I got respect for. My boss did that shit. My supervisor did that shit, and he didn't even know how to fucking pick. That's how you build up a good fucking team. That's how you know that you got a good company, when you got good people around you. Stop playing with that shit. You know? I'm not bad. I'm over here ranting. I'm over here tripping on these fools, but fuck them. They're still cool. They're still cool. It's all good. You know, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna do my work either way. You know. My company also offers per diem. They give us a hotel room. Sometimes we do have to share, sometimes we don't. Just depends. They give us a airfare. Not airfare, I'm sorry. They give us an itinerary to they give us a flight to, you know, United, American Airlines, whatever. Southwest. So um they give us a ride to work. They offer us a ride to work. So it'll be a group of us, the main guy, the lead will go ahead and have a rental. He'll drive us out of work, and depending on the number amount of people, that's how many rentals we'll have. So there'll be another assigned driver if it's needed. Um, and most of the time, I mean, all the time, they just offer you work. So that's what my company offers. And what I really enjoy about working for the 3PL is if you get to a good site that you work your ass off and you work for performance and you have the opportunity to make, you know, 30, 34, $35 an hour working in the freezer or just doing any function that offers that. There's some dry warehouses unloading. I've seen guys that make 54 fucking dollars an hour. That shit is fucking crazy. Don't ask me how. I don't want to get into that shit. But I seen the pay stub, I seen the check, working 20 fucking hours, coming in and smashing on those fucking containers. I saw that shit. 54 an hour. 20 hours. Shit was beautiful. Making around the same fucking thing I am. Working after fucking hours. Um, Unloading containers, which was cool. Like I said, I ain't gonna be hating because you know what? I got the opportunity to be a lead. I know managerial stuff, so it's all good. Um, but that 54 did look nice. That $54 an hour did look nice. Um, and I know because I was doing payroll. I was helping out the site that I went to. Um, the manager that was there, we kind of just did payroll together. I had to do it for the road guys that I was working with, and he had to do it for his home site. So we just put our heads together and what do you call it? Gave each other some tips on being able to make payroll a little easier because sometimes you can do it in different ways and you put it in different Excel sheets and you can figure out ways to make it easier for you. So we try to work on that, and that's when I saw that. So, and more than anything, like I said, if you go to a good site and you're able to save up some money, my company offers time. You can go and tell them, you know what, I need to go home for 3 weeks or a month, and you can come back with a job. All you gotta do is hit up somebody or just be in communications with somebody about when you're ready to come back, and that's always good. Some people like to go home with their families for a good amount of time. Some people like to take a vacation. Some people like to go just rest and recover, and different situations like that. Um, and after being on the road for the past 5, 6 years, the first 4, 5, it was nothing but 60 hours, 70 hours, 80 hours a week. Now, for at least this past year, yeah, it's been a year now. Um, it's been Monday through Friday. The money's low, but I get opportunity to do things like this. Start expanding my mind, start writing a little bit more, start doing these audio recordings, start, you know, being able to put my goals into action. You know what I mean? Just like everybody should. And maybe that's sometimes why I get a little upset because I dealt with a lot of bullshit too, you know. Um, and I'm proud of myself for being able to handle all that bullshit at the same time because Nobody else is gonna tell you they're proud of you. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes they do, but at the same time, like, I'm proud of myself for not having an attitude with these people, for getting to know people, for seeing different points of views, um, and just understanding, you know, just coming to an understanding on what this business is, what this world is of logistics, and just how to get better. Just how to get better at everything you do, every function you do, the way you communicate, the way you talk to people, the way you just, you know, interact, because it's cool. I've been to so many states now. I've been worked for so many companies, gotten the opportunity to work for so many companies, and I've seen safety, accuracy, performance, um, just the whole traveling aspect. You learn a lot. Getting to talk to general managers, directors, VPs, safety managers, all of it. Like I said, it's something I wouldn't trade. Cause then again, fuck, I'm not gonna lie. Like, all those fools that were going out and making 30, 40, $50 an hour, they were fucking picking in the freezer. That shit is tough, you know. As a lead, I was going out and just doing my safeties, going out and doing observations, going out and doing, um, helping people with any way I can. Just try not to be sitting down. Even though sometimes, yeah, you do get away with it. You're just chilling as a lead, a manager. Like, we ain't gonna deny that shit either. A lot of shit is fucking bullshitting too, but for the most part, I was trying to go out there as well and try to do my part with my team. Try to build a team that respects you and that sees that you're ready to work just as much as they are. You know, that's how you gain people's trust. That's how you build a good team. That's how you make good relationships. That's how you make people want to work for you. I know a lot of fucking bullshit ass managers that, yeah, they're tough and all this shit, but they never want nobody ever wants to work for them. So what's the fucking point? You know, they gotta work with you at that moment because that's all they got. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but I'm sure nobody ever hit you up after, unless you got a good site. But but they're not really there for you, bro, or girl. But it's like, I love the fact that people come and look for me. I love the fact that people are like, yo, what's up? Do you know of anything going on? Yo, this or that. Like, if I do, I let them know. If I don't, then just tell them the truth. Like, nah, I don't got anything going, or, I haven't heard of anything. So, there's a lot of different ways. But, like I said, what my company has offered me is to go out, learn about the business of 3PL, learn about the business of warehousing, learn about the business of managing, supervising, leading a team, safety, security, as far as, like, you're sitting down and learning in orientations, taking pictures of people and so they can get safety badges. That's what I mean, stuff like that. Um, just teaching people everything you can. I've done it all. I've gone from unloading backhaul, which is fucking garbage, plastic, Petco pallets, white pallets, black plastic pallets, rotten watermelons, you know, all the way up to leading a team of 200 people, you know, and it feels good, and everything in between, So that's what my company's offered me. They've offered me the opportunity to go out and really learn how to manage. And like I said, one day maybe give me the opportunity to build my own 3PL company. And the only thing I can do is just keep going and try my best. Try my best in all these goals that I have. And, you know, just get better and better every day. But I hope you guys liked the video. Let me know what your company offers you. Do you guys take advantage of anything that they offer you? Um, I'm glad that I took some advantage of most things. You know, like I said, I've got an offer to manager's position. I didn't take it. You get way better checks as a lead. You get way better checks, more hours, and we'll make a video on managers next because you got to know what you're stepping into when you're a manager, man. Expect those phone calls at 3 in the morning. Expect random bullshit coming up. Expect to, you know, deal with somebody else's problems that was in charge of your last place. Expect all that bullshit. But it's also good being a manager, you know? Has its pros, it has its cons, just like anything else. But like I said, just let me know what you guys think. What does your company offer you?